Hi, welcome to MJT Law. My name is Melanie Thorley and today we're going to talk about direction to take annual leave. Now, the first thing I want to say is I'm not going to be talking about COVID time annual leave direction. There is a whole pile of law around that, and it's really important that that is set in a different environment. What I'm talking about here is, for instance, your employer's going to shut down the business because it's Christmas or it's one of these slow periods, and they normally shut down, and they're just going to say to you, look, we're going to shut down over Christmas for 2 weeks. We're going to be getting you to take annual leave for that time. So let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to jump on to Google, and we're going to look at the Fair Work Ombudsman's website, and we're going to say direction to take annual leave. Okay, directing an employee to take annual leave. Right, so here we are with the Fair Work Ombudsman website. There's a lot going on with the Fair Work Ombudsman's website, and a lot of the information you're going to see on this website at this point in time is about the coronavirus and the worldwide pandemic. Again, we're going to set that information aside. There is a lot of law around that, and we're not going to get bogged down in it. Okay, so we've got during direction to take annual leave during a shutdown. So we're just going to click on that. Just taking longer than I thought. Okay. So, again, it's got the coronavirus stuff in there. We're going to sit down, we're going to set that aside, and saying, what is a shutdown? A shutdown is a temporary business closure, and it's normally done around Christmas, New Year. It could be at other times in the year, but normally it's called a close down. We're going to shut the office. We're going to call it for the Christmas. We're going to not be here. You know, lots of different languages gets used. But what normally happens is your employer is going to want you to take annual leave during that time. It is actually okay for your employer to direct you to take annual leave during this time, but it needs to be done under the right conditions and sometimes under certain circumstances. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to tell you that most of the time, it's not lawful for your employer to ask you to take annual leave during a shutdown unless it's in your award. If you're award free, then it's a contractual thing, for instance, or by agreement. It might be that you fall under an enterprise agreement. There hopefully will be something in there about annual shutdowns or something like that in that document as well. But we're just going to stick to the awards. So first of all, it asks you, what industry are you in? So this is a really strange one. We're going to say that we're in, I don't know, the retail industry. And then it says what sub-industry. Well, you might just be in retail sales. You might be a clerical at a shop, but we're just going to make it simple, retail sales. Look, I understand it's probably not the obvious one. Retail goes up at Christmas, not down, but let's just leave it there. And then it says show information it's tailed for me. And then it says, based on what you've told us, it looks like you're covered by the General Retail Industry Award. It's probably true. And it says the employers can be directed to take annual leave shutdown if you give them at least 4 weeks notice. If an employee doesn't have enough leave to cover them, you can agree with the employer to take annual leave in advance or unpaid leave. If the employee doesn't agree to take either paid, then they have to be paid at the ordinary rate during the shutdown. They can't be forced to take annual leave. That's actually a really interesting point, but you must remember that there is some recourse for your employer if you refuse this, only because when I say recourse, I mean it could be a lawful and reasonable direction, for instance. But so there is a little bit of complexity around that, but we're just going to go, what does the Fair Work Ombudsman say about it? What does your award say about it? Oh, you have annual leave available to you to take, so you can be directed to take it. So also the other thing is, it's probably a really good idea if you do have that direction, you've been given that 4 weeks notice, that there is some type of document notifying everybody that that's what's happening. And you can see here that the Fair Work Ombudsman has helpfully put a document in place. If you see something like this, we're just going to save it. And I'm just going to open it. This is a really complex letter. because it kind of takes into account every situation under the sun. I'm just going to see if I can make this bigger. No. Here we go. Okay, so this is the sort of letter that you might expect, and this is taken into account a lot of different things, but basically it's printed on the employer's letterhead in accordance with clause blah of the award. I'm writing to inform you that we require you to take annual leave during the close down due to Christmas. This period of leave will be deducted from your accrued entitlement, and we are required to provide you at least 4 weeks notice. The notice of annual leave is required under clause blah of the award. Please consider this letter notice of commencing to a later date. Your base rate of pay of your ordinary hours will be paid to you continue throughout that leave period. There may well be leave loading available to you, and that's just giving you giving the employer a little bit of a heads up about that. And should you have any questions, just contact someone. Okay, so it's also sending you back to that direction. So if you are directed to take annual leave, it's not unlawful for them to do it. Just make sure that they've ticked all the boxes. If you have any questions about this direction, you think it's a little bit excessive, or you don't want to take it, and what do you do about that, and how do you speak to your employer, then give us a call. We'll be able to give you some advice there and get you on your way. Hopefully this has been helpful for you today. Thank you very much for watching.